The Mars Battleground has returned as the weekly featured Grandmaster, and we have an updated guide for you guys that makes this Nightfall far easier than ever before. From stun-locking bosses to absolutely destroying rooms of adds, this guide will give you the best team comp, loadouts, and positioning strategies to make this GM a breeze. I'm Above, and if you enjoyed today's video, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into it. Starting with my recommended team comp, we went with two Well of Radiance Warlocks rocking the Cenotaph mask and an Invis Hunter using Gerfalcon's Halberg. The Hunter is used to generate orbs for your teammates so that you can constantly cycle your wells, while giving you the ability to safely dunk the arc charges in the boss room and absolutely decimate champions and bosses with Leviathan's Breath throughout this Grandmaster. The Cenotaph Warlocks are used for safety and add dense choke points and to constantly feed you more heavy ammo than your fire team can even use. Though the heavy crates do help with ammo economy, Cenotaph helmets allow you to use your heavies like their primary weapons, which makes this GM significantly easier. As for weapon loadouts, we went with one Wishender, one Unstoppable Scout Rifle, and Leviathan's Breath, and we paired these with two Trace Rifles to mark targets with Cenotaph, an Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, a Void Waveframe Grenade Launcher to take advantage of the Surge, and two Machine Guns to give your Warlocks top-tier ad clear thanks to the weekly Machine Gun Overcharge. Wishender is great for instant barrier stuns, while Leviathan's Breath absolutely cooks champions thanks to the Void Surge. This exotic also perma-stuns bosses, including Kel'Garath, which makes handling mini-bosses and the final boss fight incredibly easy. I recommend that your Gerfalcon Hunter runs levies and a Void Waveframe to constantly proc invisibility and volatile rounds, which makes the ad clear for your fire team significantly better. As for key armor mods, I recommend heavy ammo finders and scouts on your helmet for even more consistent heavy drops, concussive dampener paired with solar and arc resist on your chest piece to counter the most consistent threats, and a weapon scab and two weapon surges on your boots for additional damage. Though the weekly surge and overcharge don't stack with one another, they do stack with your armor charge mods, which means we can let our void weapons cook even harder. Diving right into the Nightfall, you're gonna fight your primal instincts and not kill a single enemy here. We're going to run right past these ads and head straight to the sea cap point where we can clear the hive infestation. You see, if we don't kill any ads, the taken enemies will never spawn on the sea cap point, and the hive literally just ignore you, which means we can cap the first warsat for free. This allows you to skip a few champion spawns without impacting your platinum rewards, which really speeds up the start of this Grandmaster. So simply wait here while the point captures itself, then jump up on this platform and get ready to spawn kill the mini boss. This enemy will appear when the sea cap point reaches 90% completion, and as I noted in the intro, Levi's Breath completely stun locks this enemy in place, making this boss a joke. Make sure your Cenotaph users tag it with Trace Rifles for double heavy drops on kill, then it's time to head back towards where we spawned in. Take out the next wave of ads before clearing the hive infestation on the B cap point, as this will stagger the next ad spawn that includes both a barrier and unstoppable champion. You'll want a well for this, so simply wait to start capturing until one of your warlocks has their super, and once ready, clear the hive gunk, then drop a well at the top of these stairs. Tether comes in huge here, as there are a ton of enemies in this area, and the orbs it creates helps you constantly cycle your wells. A barrier and unstop will spawn at the back right hand side of the arena, so make sure to tag them for ammo, then have your Levi's Breath user absolutely destroy them. Continue clearing ads until the B point has been captured, at which point we can head to A to finish this encounter. We'll once again start by clearing the surrounding enemies, then have your teammates head towards the spawn door of the Death Tongue Acolyte. This enemy will spawn as soon as you break the hive seal, and positioning your teammates here allows you to spawn kill it rather easily. This enemy can disable your abilities and cause the Shriekers to open if left alive too long, which is why this is our first priority. Tag the Acolyte with Cenotaph for even more ammo, and once dead, make your way over to the roof of this building and drop a well overlooking the ads. It is at this point that two unstoppable champions will spawn, so simply tag them with Trace Rifles and take them out from this high ground. Ads will try to sneak up behind you, but as long as you're aware of this, they're relatively easy to deal with. And once the A point has been captured, you're free to grab the heavy ammo box and use the laser to open the door to the next encounter. As we make our way inside, there will be 2 champions waiting for us. I like to use this staircase for cover to take them out from a distance, and marking these 2 champs with Cenotaph will generate heavy bricks right where we'll be setting up for this encounter. Start by scanning your ghost, then use this half wall for cover. This spot is fantastic because you have a great line of sight on most spawn points, and the enemies filter towards you in a very predictable fashion. The first champion will spawn when the capture progression reaches 25%, at which point you can pop the first well. From here, simply cycle your Well of Radiance for safety, and use Tether to feed your Warlocks additional orbs. As long as your Cenotaph users are marking the mini-bosses and champions, you'll be able to use your heavy weapons like their primaries, making this encounter unbelievably easy. Continue clearing until the capture progression reaches 100%, at which point the door will open, and we're moving on. This transition zone can be a little sketchy, as the threat detection timer is actually tied to your frame rate. As you can see here, high FPS causes the timer to count down significantly faster, which is why I recommend locking your frame rate to 30 FPS during this jumping puzzle. There's also a simple skip that you can use on this pipe to help speed things along. When you reach the door, clear the ads on your left, followed by the group of enemies on your right, then jump on this box and drop a well. You can also tether the edge of this surface to pretty much capture everything in its radius, and the 2 barrier champions that spawn here will get absolutely destroyed. Once you've cleared the remaining enemies, the door to the Warmind will open, and I recommend sending 1 player right and 1 player up top to grab the laser cores that we'll need to unlock the vault. Your 3rd teammate will stay back near the entrance to clear ads and keep your group safe, and as long as you maximize each core's energy when breaking the seals, you should only need 2 cores to open the vault. And once open, you can grab the heavy box to fill up on ammo, and we're heading to the boss fight. As you scan your ghost, the encounter will begin, and before doing so, have your Warlocks drop their wells near the back of the arena. Starting this encounter instantly refunds your supers, which means we can use our wells at the start of the boss fight and instantly have them back for later use. So start by scanning your ghost, join your teammates in the well, then begin melting the boss. Levy's Breath stun locks Kel'Garath in place, making him completely harmless. The boss can disappear from time to time, but as long as you're ready to shoot Levy's when he comes out of invisibility, you'll instantly stun lock him again. Once the boss hits the 50% health gate, he'll gain an immunity shield and will walk around at a drastically reduced speed. It is at this point that 2 champions will spawn in the center of the arena, so to avoid the boss and break line of sight from the champions, I recommend regrouping at the back right hand side of the room, where you can then drop a well and deal with the champs. This gives you a decent line of sight on the champions through the cracks in these pillars, and you'll want to make sure to tag both champions so that your Levy's user can stun lock the boss during the second damage phase. Once the champions are dead, you'll want to clear ads until the deposit is relatively free, and if the boss makes his way towards you, simply rotate to the opposite side of the arena. Have your Invis Hunter start collecting the arc charges to start the next phase, and once 5 orbs have been deposited, drop another well at the back of the boss room, bake the boss, and the Mars Battlegrounds Grandmaster Nightfall is a GG. If you found this guide useful, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. And you can also catch me live over on Twitch at twitch.tv/above, where I'll be doing GM helps all season long. Anyways, guys, that's it from me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.